What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In today's video, we got a massive update on the Bonafide PWR 129 build. In the last video, we installed a whole bunch of Yak Attack accessories on this thing, but today we got a huge update on our motor setup, and it's all installed. Let's jump into it. So this is pretty much how the setup is right now. Again, the motor I'm running is a Torqeedo Travel Ultralight. This is a new one that replaced the 1103. I love that motor so much, but this motor specifically has a whole bunch of upgrades. So one, steering triangle, it's aluminum now, no longer plastic. I've actually broken one of the old ones before, and now we don't have to worry about that problem. I actually upgraded the lift arm, that's the name of it. This is actually from Innovative Sportsman. So this is actually a steel lift arm that he makes, Trey over there at Innovative Sportsman. And anybody who runs a Torqeedo or even the competitor of Newport, well, these, when you have the motor lifted up like this, they tend to bend. So this is a steel one, super robust, and it's not going to have that issue with bending when you want to run your motor tilted up, and obviously your motor's tilted to the side, so it won't bend anymore. That's a nice upgrade that I've been looking forward to getting. Next to the lift arm, we have an additional upgrade right here where the wire that actually comes out previously used to be able to get damage on the 1103. I never had the issue with it, but the people who kind of stored their motor incorrectly or had let this cable kind of get kinked up or bent over time, they had problems with the wires inside getting damaged. So they upgraded this part. It seems like the actual wiring is a little bit thicker too, so that pretty much solved that problem right there. As we move down, the skag actually is made out of a different material, and it's actually replaceable as well. This is more of like a rubber composite, so when you do hit stuff, it doesn't make a whole bunch of noise compared to the previous version that was all one piece in this lower unit. And then on the prop right here, this is actually a different prop that comes with the motor. So right here is the actual original prop, and I actually have a couple different props that I'll be playing with on this motor. So when you look at side by side, you can tell the difference. This one definitely has a lot more pitch and bigger fins as well. So at a later date, we're gonna try out all three props. I pretty much already know that this prop doesn't really perform super well, and that's the reason why they came out with the other one. But we also have a little bit bigger one too. This is 11 by 7.5. And we're gonna try all three and see which ones actually perform the best on this kayak. I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions on this. I will clarify that it is still a 1100 watt motor, which is about 3 horsepower equivalent. They did not increase it because, again, for most tournament organizations, that is the horsepower limit. So they pretty much kept the same, but obviously changing the props and stuff like that, we can get some more efficiency, maybe a little bit more performance. That was kind of the main focus with this motor. With that being said, we'll talk about steering in a second and also the lift and reverse. But the wire for the motor goes down, and for now I have it plugged into the battery right here. So the battery did get an upgrade. It's a 1025 watt. The previous one for the 1103 was 915, so it got a slight increase in battery capacity. And right here I just have it strapped down with some Yak Attack cam straps to the black pack right here, so it's not going to go anywhere. The nice thing about this new cable is that it's honestly super easy to put in. You just lock it in right there, and it's just one little twist. So now you don't have to like continuously screw it down like the previous 1103. So you have one cable that comes from the motor. Then off of that same cable, we do have what goes to our throttle right there. So I have this extension just laying right here now. I'm actually gonna tuck it inside the hole of the kayak, probably come out of this port right here, and then also come out of the port that's right below the seat over there. So I'm just having this here for now because I still haven't drilled any of the holes for all the plates, which I still need to do for a power pole, all electronics and everything else. So that will be done later down the road. But yeah, this is pretty much how it goes. And then we have the throttle up here, and that's a new Torqeedo throttle, which I'm super stoked about. The nice thing about this throttle is that it now has a lit screen. So actually, let's just pull this little plastic off. Oh yeah. So this backlit screen is super useful. Obviously early in the morning, I used to have to use my phone to flash to see kind of if this thing was on or not. Now we don't have that problem. But the cool part is that you have a bunch of displays you can switch. And the thing I love about my Torqeedo motors is that with the battery being proprietary, you have data that other motors don't. So right here, you can always know the distance I have left on the charge, and how many minutes I can run depending on the speed I'm going. So that is a positive thing about using this motor, is that you have those type of things. So yeah, right there. I'll probably end up using this one most of the time, but whenever I need to check how much I can run left, I know I won't be stranded because I do have the distance and the minutes I have left on charge. Then also the lever to obviously use the motor is fully encased now, so you don't have the half where you can get stuff stuck in it. Now you don't have that problem anymore. And you obviously have forward and reverse and all that. Kill switch is definitely different on this thing now. So with the kill switch, we can actually turn on this motor. Change the setting and see RPMs right here. Then again, I got this on the Yak Attack throttle mount right here. So this is the newest one that fits this throttle, and this is how I have it. Pretty much I'm gonna adjust it probably somewhere like this, usually on the water, but I can obviously remove this if I need to throw a cover on the kayak, all those type of things, easily removable. All right, now let's talk about all the cables and everything that makes this motor functional for this kayak. So I run foot control steering, of course, so I got this right here that runs this Yak Attack eyelet underneath the catch stern motor mount plate and into the existing holes that was used for the rudder. I actually removed the rudder on this thing, and then this runs on both sides basically out through the other cap and then to our Wizard kit. So I do got the Wizard kit fully installed, and yeah, this thing is pretty smooth. On my Wizard kit, I didn't make them super loose, just enough friction where it's still smooth, but it still took a little bit of effort. The one thing I'm worried about is if this is too loose and these wires are not connected obviously to the motor and I'm traveling, I didn't want these to just keep sliding back and forth when I'm hitting the brakes or stepping on the gas. So a little bit of tension is probably good in my opinion. So to wrap up the foot steering, I got my Spectra cording going through again, a Yak Attack tie down eyelet, and then underneath the catch motor mount plate, and then through this other side. But that's pretty much the same thing, and that makes it where this doesn't rub on anything at all, and it's honestly super smooth. Now for the lift assist, I got a pulley that came with the motor right there, have it tied down to the motor mount bracket, and it pretty much just goes up and down through the same Yak Attack eyelet. If you look real closely, they actually don't come in contact. So I got lucky there, and it goes through this vertical tie down and then it goes through the existing center portion for the rudder lift. And with that, I was able to utilize obviously the stock route for the rudder lift, and it comes out here. I did use the Torqeedo handle for here, but I'll probably end up getting a rubber one down the road because this usually makes a whole bunch of noise. And then the cleat. This one, honestly, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's what I have to use for now. I purchased a traditional cleat, but the gap on this is actually too big for the Spectra cording, so I'm not able to utilize it, so I gotta find a different one. But for now, this will be fine. I just think it's gonna be very difficult to try to catch the wire underneath here from the side all the time, and I like to run in the shallow, my motor lifted up part ways, so it's gonna make it very difficult to really fine tune the lift of the motor. And yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. The last thing I want is for the cable to be somehow back here and then trying to reach for it up here and I'm unable to find it, so we do want to fix that. So that'll be an upgrade down the road. So for the reverse lock, we have pretty much a simple setup. So obviously carabiner here, and it goes through this side of the motor mount, goes underneath the power pole and actually does not rub, goes to another Yak Attack eyelet, and then down the side another Yak Attack eyelet. And I added a cleat right here that keeps it right here ready to go at all times. I probably could use this cleat on the other side, but I'm just gonna have to find one that's the right size. This one barely fits in here and locks it in, but it's just enough. Some people don't like using a cleat for the reverse lock, but I personally do. I actually use it quite a bit, especially if I got wind to my back and my boat positioning needs to be a certain way against a point. I can use it pretty much to keep myself in the same spot and reverse and use my foot steering to keep me in the same place. So I like having locked, so obviously I don't have to keep my hand on it at all times. It's just there whenever I need it. But yeah guys, that's the update on the Bonafide PWR 129 build. everything that I've done to this kayak leading up to this point. I'll leave links in the description below for you guys to check out if you guys are interested in doing some of this upgrades to yours as well. But I'm excited to get this Torqeedo Travel Ultralight on the water and really see how fast this thing is going to be. Again, we got another prop that we can try out, so we're going to bounce between and see which one is more efficient, and obviously top speed as well. So up next, we got to get all of our electronics and basically all the electrical stuff done and out of the way, from our lighting, wiring up the power pole, and everything in between. And I got a little sneak peek for what's to come. So we'll be running Active Target 2 again, and that means we will be running Lowrance electronics again. So I decided to upgrade my units this year and pretty much start everything from scratch. So a whole bunch of Lowrance stuff that's going to go in this thing, and there's a lot of other tasteful stuff going in it as well. We got to install our sniper pole for this thing, for that Active Target 2. But yeah, the next step's going to take quite a bit of time, but honestly, it's going to be exciting to see it all come together. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.